Hey folks, it's Wade here over at USMA Blade, and I am very excited to introduce to you today the Hinderer XM-24. This is the skinny, that's why that S is there, Wharncliffe. I'm shaking. I'm so excited about this knife. This is absolutely amazing. This is one of those videos I don't even know where to start. There's just so many cool things to say, but I'm going to start kind of negative here. I am never really much of a Wharncliffe fan. The Wharncliffe blade is just usually one of the least that appeals to me. The only Wharncliffe blade that I've ever really been a fan of is on our half track, and that's because it just works and it's badass. Well, the XM-24 skinny with that Wharncliffe blade, holy crap, man, this thing just works. It looks perfect. It is perfect. It's sized right. And it is just wicked looking. And holy crap, it's just gonna be an absolutely user style blade. I mean, just look at that blade on there. S45 steel. So let's talk about what this XM-24, the skinny part of this means. That's probably the biggest thing to jump into here real quick. So let's start and kind of compare it. So we're gonna get out this is my personal XM-24. Excuse the marks on it. I do use my knives. So from here, this is an XM-24. This is the spear point, I do believe. Yes. And so these are the same size. We're at a little bit of an angle. So overall length, everything on the XM-24s, just to show you that I'm being honest with you here, it's always going to look, the one in front's always going to look a little bigger. So let me see if I can just adjust that a little. That helps. So XM-24 skinny versus the full-size XM-24, you will notice they are the exact same size. They are the same overall length, same blade lengths. Everything there is the same. Where the difference comes in, and I'm going to close these because I think it'll show better, and what that skinny part of it means is that, hey, we're thinner across the back. So if we lay these two flat, there is quite a ramp up here. So that skinniness, you wouldn't think it's much, that it'd make much of a difference, but boy, it really does, especially when you start talking about putting it in your pocket, getting past that big knife, that big frame. The skinny part of it makes a big difference. It's also really cuts down, or not really cuts down, but it does make for a thinner blade stock. Not by a ton, but I mean, it is noticeable. And where it's really noticeable, and what we've been talking about a whole lot lately, is how sharp Hinderer knives are. And this thing, this Wharncliffe, it's just a razor blade. I mean, just an absolute razor blade. And then you take into consideration, look at that tip. I mean, that tip is it's just a user. I mean, absolutely shreds anything you want it to shred. Hinderer's just been on fire with sharpness with their knives out of the box lately. I have not touched this blade. This is straight out of the box, and absolute razor blade. So you put that together with that beautiful Wharncliffe blade, man, this thing is just going to be tough as nails and ready for any task. But then it's also just the overall looks. So if we take this and we put it side by side with a regular XM-18 3.5, you're gonna see you do get the bigger frame, but once again, side by side, lay them flat, they're the same length across. And then, like I said, it does make a difference in and out of the pocket, with that size, with this big frame, but just that little bit extra of thinness. And don't get me wrong, I love the XM-24, but probably the biggest complaint on the XM-24 is it's just too much of a beast. So this does slim it down some, so that's where the skinny is great. And I just can't say enough about the way this looks. This just absolutely is fire. So let's kind of show this off while we're doing comparisons here. So here's my hand fully gripping on the XM-18 3.5. You can see I can definitely get all four fingers on it. But then we move over to the XM-24 skinny, and look at that. I mean, tons of extra room. I can really expand those fingers out here. So great feel in the hand, but just kind of show that real quick. We're gonna jump around here, but see how my fingers just get right back to the palm swell, or my palm. And here, it's a little more. It's you can definitely tell a difference with that thickness in the hand. But once again, I think I've titled this one, we're just gonna call it Hinderer Hits an Absolute Home Run. Oops, hit the thing. I'm blown away by this knife. It's just so good looking. It's just so well done. I would have never thought that I would be a big fan of the XM-24 Wharny in any way, shape, or form. But no, you put it in the skinny platform and get that blade just sized perfect for that frame. And by damn, yeah, I mean, Hinderer absolutely crushed it, knocked it out of the park, out of the parking lot, crushed it on these. Let's give some other comparisons here real quick, just for giggles. We'll make these quick, but let's throw in a Hinderer Eclipse. And as you can see, that Eclipse is definitely smaller. It's going to be the same size as the XM-18, 3.5. We just did an Eclipse comparison to the Chris Reeves Benza 31. So let's throw that in here. And obviously the XM-24 is much bigger. And then let's see here. Last one I'll throw in, and I think we've sold a ton of these ZT 0308 CFs or 0308s. Little shout out to our anodizing. This is our battle green on it. So very similar in overall size. I've always talked about how great the ZT 0308 is. I think by Hinderer taking that and skinning the 24 down, it meets those same criteria that just make this size knife really fantastic, and a knife that, you know, it's big. It's definitely big, but it's not one you're going to be afraid to carry. Not one you're gonna be upset to have in the pocket because it's just too big. So, like I said, I'm calling this one an absolute home run. I think Hinderer was on fire with this one. We're going to be dropping these later on, shortly after this video publishes. I think it's when we're going to be launching them. We've got them available in some different stonewash, some working finish, some different anodized colors. But we've got a great selection of them. So I hope you'll check them out. They're going to be available at usamadeblade.com. Like I said, shortly after this video launches. And it's absolutely an amazing knife. So big thumbs up. Great job to Hinderer. And like I said, check them out, usamadeblade.com. Thank you for watching.